Welcome, students. Uh, Today, I would like to discuss about the CAT 1 exams. What are the limitations or drawbacks I have noticed in the learning process, or whatever shortcomings I have noticed, those I will discuss today. So, there are several issues. The first issue that I would like to say, that is, many students I have noticed that they have not attempted question number 1, which is actually the question number 1 is was the case study. So many students I have found that they have not attempted the case study. Okay, so this is one issue. Uh, the second issue, I don't know what's the reason behind it. Maybe because they have timed out, or maybe because the the invigilator did not allow, but it has happened. So this is the first issue, and I have no control over it. I cannot say that who did not attended it, who did not attempt the question, because in Court Tantra, the answer scripts are checked anonymously. Now, anonymously means that I am not able to see or understand whose copy I am checking. Okay. So this is the first issue. The second issue that I have found is some students' handwriting is almost incomprehensible. I am not asking to have a very good, very neat and clean handwriting. I am not asking you that. Handwriting may not be very good, but at least it should be comprehensible so that I can understand. Some students' handwriting is very bad and almost it is incomprehensible. That is a problem. And some students, they have not uploaded it properly, or maybe because of the bad light or poor light, it is not clearly visible. That is also a problem. So please take care of these issues while uploading the answer script. Now the third issue is it is all about now I will start discussing about the questions. Okay, now the first question was on the case study. So are you able to understand the case study at all? That is my question. That in the case study it is said that there is a company of the Ben & Jerry ice cream manufacturer, and when they are producing the ice cream, they have different production lines, and the production process has several parameters, several process parameters. But all the process parameters are not equally important. Some process parameters are very, very important, which are known as key performance indicators or KPI. Okay. Now, these key attributes, these are also termed as attributes. They will obviously have some specification limits as provided by the customers. And whenever you are producing your product, you need to maintain those specification limits for all the attributes. And earlier the process was like that, there were a lot of variation regarding all the attributes. Okay. And there was no real-time monitoring system, so that there is a chance or there is a probability that your data will go beyond the specification limits. You will take preventive action against it. Okay. So that kind of scope was not there earlier, because the process was manual in nature, and hence the variation was more, and the time consumption was also more. Okay. So this was the problem statement or the challenges faced by the industry. And they came up with some solution by means of which, so for example, the online monitoring system or real-time monitoring system, by means of which they can real-time basis, they can control all the parameters or all the attributes, and they can control the variation whenever there will be a chance or probability that the data will go beyond the specification limits. They can control it, and ultimately this solution was proposed by them, and ultimately the results that they achieved, that they got benefits in terms of quality by reducing the variation, in terms of cost, okay, and also in terms of saving the time. Okay. So this is the main thing, or the main, the concept of the case study. This is actually the, in a nutshell, or the philosophy of the case study is this. Now you will find that regarding the challenges, or regarding the solutions, or regarding the benefits that they have achieved, there are some specific quantitative data are provided. Okay. And you have been asked questions based on this particular case study. So majorly, actually, there were three questions. One was based on some students, they have got the questions which are related to the challenges faced by the Ben and Jerry. Some students got the questions which are related to the solutions proposed by them, and some students got the question related to the benefits that they achieved. Okay. Now, the problem that I noticed, that suppose you have been asked about the solutions proposed by the company. Okay. So when these sort of questions are asked, maybe you have mentioned it, that's what solutions they have proposed, but you have also mentioned the challenges they faced, or the achievements they had, okay, or the results they have found. You also described about it, but this is not this kind of answer is not to the point. You cannot say that your answer is to the point, because you have only asked about the solution. Similarly, some students were asked only the challenges faced by them. They have also mentioned the points of solutions and the benefits. Some students, they have only asked about the benefits. Okay, but they have also they have mentioned about the challenges faced by the company, and the solutions proposed by them. So the answers are not to the point. This is another issue that I have found. Okay, so this is the third issue. The fourth issue is that whenever you will be answering this sort of question, first you need to provide some the philosophical understanding of that you should mention, address, and then you should address the quantitative information of it. For example, suppose if you are asked that what kind of solutions was actually proposed. Okay, if you are asked this kind of questions, then what you will answer? First, you will answer that Ben and Jerry, they have implemented the real-time monitoring system for different production lines or across different production lines for different attributes. Okay, now specifically what kind of quantitative information they have provided, like for example Six Sigma or whatever it is, the kind of solutions they have provided, that you can mention. Similarly, suppose you are asked about the benefits. So the first thing is that they have made the benefits in terms of cost, time, and quality. Okay, so now what kind of benefits, quantitative information, how much money they can save, that you can mention. Then you can mention that what kind of variation they have, the variation they have reduced, how much variation they have reduced to improve their quality, and how much time they have saved, that you should mention. Okay, so first there is some philosophical part. Philosophy means which is very general in nature. For example, suppose they have saved cost. This is very general in nature. First you should mention it, then you will mention that how much cost they have saved. Okay, so in this way you should mention, or you should address all those things. But your answer was not like that. Okay, and it should be mentioned point wise. You should mention on all the maybe in terms of when the philosophy you are addressing, then there is no need of making points. But when you are giving later on, when first you will mention the philosophical approach or address the philosophical point, you will mention, and after that you will mention all the quantitative points. And quantitative points you should mention point wise. Okay, so in this way the answer should be addressed. Okay, so this was and this was the fourth issue. And also you should keep in your mind that uh, you should always write in your own language. Okay, not like the languages or the sentences that has already been given in this text. You should you should copy and paste that. This is not desired. Okay, and also some students, they have just suppose one particular paragraph they have selected, and they have just divided, they have just broken that paragraph into some lines, and those, by taking those lines, they have mentioned the points. It's not like, it should not be like that. The points should be addressed in your own language. Okay, now come to the fifth issue. Regarding the fifth issue, I uh, questioned, one question was there regarding why, regarding the ISO 9000 certification, and most of the students, they have answered it correctly, and they have got a 10 out of 10. But the problem is with ISO 14000. The students who have got the question of ISO 14000, they have not, most of the students, they have not clearly mentioned that, just like, ISO 14000, it is also at systems level. Okay, ISO 14000, it also considers at system level. So you have ISO 14000 certification, it doesn't guarantee that your industry is very much environment friendly, uh, or it produces environment friendly products. There is no such guarantee, because it also focuses on the system level. Okay, so that is that has not been mentioned by most of the students. Okay, and even in case of ISO 9000, uh, some students, they have mentioned, suppose I have asked that what is your opinion regarding it. Okay, whether you will opt ISO 9000 or not. Now you may, your answer, there is no hard and fixed answer. Your answer may be yes or it may be no, but you need to give your logic properly. Okay, suppose if you say that yes, I will go for ISO 14000, sorry, ISO 9000, then you need to mention that that because it will enhance the image of your organization or your company. You need to mention it. Or if you say that no, I won't go for ISO 9000, then you should mention the drawbacks, like ISO 9000 is valid for only 3 years, and also uh, you need to invest money for it. Okay, but without having ISO 9000 certification, you can maintain very high quality standards. Okay, and if your customers are aware about the fact, then there is no need of it. Okay, and if you have enough already sufficient number of customers. Okay, so but instead of mentioning all those things, many students, they have written, but plain, they have described about ISO 9000. Okay, which is not desired, which is not as per question or to the point answer. And even if some students, they have mentioned it, they have also written many junk stuffs. Now I am again and again repeating that this is not my responsibility to pick up or to choose the correct answer out of or among a lot of junk stuffs. Okay, you should mention only the relevant sentences or the relevant answers. You will mention a lot of unnecessary or irrelevant sentences, and I will have to pick up the correct or the relevant sentences among it. This is not actually desired. Okay, and you will get less score for it, less marks for it. You will score less actually. Then come to the point of the sixth issue. Okay, there was a question about the QFD, okay, quality function deployment. Okay. Now, in this particular question, I clearly mentioned about that you should provide example of that. Okay. But in most of the cases, you have written a lot of things about the quality house or QFD, and lot of things on QFD you have mentioned. You have also drawn the diagram of quality house. Okay. But you have not given the example. That is one problem. And another problem is that some students, though they have drawn the picture of the quality house for a specific example, they have not illustrated the example. Suppose, for example, the question is like the explain I mean the kind of benefits that you have got. Suppose, for example, the different your competitors, you can evaluate the competitors. Okay. Suppose there is competitor A is there, competitor B is there. So in terms of each and every attribute, okay, how you can evaluate your competitors, particularly for that particular example that you have given, that you have not addressed. Okay, that this particular competitor is good for this attribute and this particular competitor is bad for this attribute. Okay, that you have not mentioned. So that is another drawback. So these kinds of drawbacks are there. Okay, and I hope that for these reasons you will take care of it, and you will not do the same sort of mistakes in cat 2. Okay. So thank you all. Thanks for watching the uh, video, and I would like to request all of you that when there will one instruction will be sent from the controller of examination regarding re-evaluation of your manuscript, right? So after going through this particular video, if you think that you have not done these kinds of mistakes, but you have got less marks, then only you apply for re-evaluation, but otherwise not. Okay, that's why I am making the video, because I know that many students, they, without watching this video or without knowing the clarification, they will go for re-evaluation. So that's why I have made the video. I think I have clarified everything. Now now if you feel that your, even after this clarification, if you feel that your answer is you have written it properly and you have not done those mistakes that I have mentioned here, but still you have got less marks, then only you should apply for re-evaluation. Okay, otherwise not. Thank you all. Thanks for watching the video.